It's been 2 years since the Modi government proposed a law to protect the river Ganga, to clean the river Ganga, which included imposing hefty penalties and even arrests. Well, 2 years later, there doesn't seem to have been any movement on that draft bill, which was called the Ganga Protection Bill. It seems to be stuck somewhere, and this is what we're going to try and understand in this episode of Government Matters with Maushmi Das Gupta, who tracks the government for us and who's done a story. So you can log on to our website, theprint.in, to understand what is really happening with this draft bill. So Maushmi, let's, I know it's been 2 years, so just to refresh a viewer's memory, let's talk a little bit about what the bill had proposed.
Ruhi, before that I want our viewers to know how this bill came into being.
Right.
So what happened was, when the Modi government came into power in 2014, cleaning Ganga river was one of the prime focuses of the government, and they set up a special department for it, National Mission for Clean Ganga, and then they launched Namami Gange program to clean the river with a budget outlay of 20,000 crore. So that's the background. So then there was a thinking in the government that we need to come up with a legislation to ensure that the river is conserved, protected, and check that no pollution, basically to check pollution in the river. So with that intent, this the then Water Resources Ministry, which is now the Jal Shakti Ministry, they drafted this National River Ganga Rejuvenation, Protection and Management Bill. So the bill has been in the making since 2017, and basically when a legislation is drafted, there's a lot of back and forth happens. So 2016 a draft bill came up, and then there was a lot of consultation that happened with the state governments, with the 5 state governments through which the Ganga flows, and experts also. So in 2019 the bill was firmed up, the bill was finalized, and then before it was to be approved by the cabinet, there is a process of having interministerial consultation. Right. So the bill was circulated for interministerial consultation, and then once the feedback came from the stakeholder ministries, the bill was sent to the cabinet secretariat to be taken up for cabinet approval, and this was in 2019. But after that, the bill has been pending since then.
Right. So what is the status right now, and why is it stuck? Where is it stuck? Because as you mentioned, this was a priority area for the Modi government.
Yeah. So this draft bill basically proposed one of the main points was that it proposed setting up of a Ganga Protection Corps. It was basically kind of an armed force which would be provided by the MHA, and which will have the powers to arrest, levy penalty, hefty penalty, and arrest also for those caught polluting the river, caught constructing on the river site without permission, and the penalties were as high as the maximum penalty was up to ₹1 crore and 2 years imprisonment. So what happened was that after the bill went to the cabinet secretariat, there were meetings in the PMO as well as the cabinet secretariat. So there was a thinking that, do we really need a new law? And why this thinking happened was because when the National Mission for Clean Ganga was set up, so in 2016, NMCG was notified as an authority under the Environment Protection Act 1986. So what does that mean? It basically means that NMCG had the powers under the Environment Protection Act 1986 to issue directions to any officer, authority or state government or polluting industries, and it had whoever was causing pollution, and there were incidents of pollution, and it also had the powers to order closure of industries, prohibiting industries to function if the pollution was above the prescribed limit. So it has all the regulatory powers that is needed. that is required in the current scheme of things. So that's why there was a thinking going on, that the thinking is that if already NMCG has that kind of powers under the Environment Protection Act, so why do we need a new legislation? And it's not just a new legislation. When a new legislation is passed, enacted, it takes time. It's a time consuming process. Even making it operational will take time. So why not strengthen the existing mechanism rather than bringing a new law?
So can we say that this perhaps with this thinking or this bill, the idea has been scrapped?
Well, I mean, the officers that I have spoken to and my sources in the ministry, they are very categorical and they say that, the draft law has not been shelved. There's still a lot of discussion happening on how to go about it. But increasingly, the view is that we don't need a separate law right now to protect, conserve and, clean Ganga. We can do it within the existing provisions that are already there.
All right. Okay. I'm not going to hog all of your time. I can see our viewers have already started sending questions. Sonia J, what's the condition of other rivers as per official data? So just to, twist this question a little bit, why so much emphasis on Ganga? Is there any conversation happening around other rivers?
Because Ganga is the priority, because I mean, it's one of the largest river. It also considered, a sacred river by the Hindus.
Right.
And also it flows through 5 states. So, and I mean, cleaning Ganga, it's not that it just started in 2014. It has been going on. There's been plan going on for so many years. So many projects have come up. But I mean, the river has not, it has not been cleaned up so far. And it's not only Ganga. In fact, there is a project to clean Yamuna also, and it has been going on. It was funded by the Japanese multilateral agency, one of the agencies of the Japanese government. So even that project is going on. So it's not just that all focus is on to clean Ganga. So there are projects happening in Yamuna as well. But Ganga especially because it's one of the one of the holy rivers, and thousands of people, not now, but before COVID and during special occasions, people go take a dip. And the quality of the river is right now, not fit for drinking also, not fit for bathing purpose also. And several studies have shown that, several studies conducted by UP Pollution Control Board, institutions like IIT have been conducted, which shows that, the quality of the river water has gone from bad to worse.
Right. All right. Tanveer Panjwani, instead of cleaning various rivers, why is the government not focusing on connecting various rivers to avoid flood and drought situation?
Well, I think, connecting rivers is easier said than done. There are huge costs involved in the project. The first interlinking project, the Ken-Veta project, is yet to take off.
Right.
And it has been in the works for over a decade now. And there are issues because
government.
Yeah, water is a state subject, and then a river doesn't flow in just one state. It passes through 3-4 states. Ken-Betwa, for instance, it passes through Madhya Pradesh, it passes through UP. And states, become very
possessive.
When it comes to water, because both the states are dependent on the river, and especially during the lean season. So that's one of the reasons that even the Ken-Betwa interlinking project has not taken off. It has not gone off the drawing board as of now.
So it's both a logistical and political nightmare, for the lack of a milder word. Okay. So Tarush, will having a new bill, a new department and a lot of bureaucracy help in cleaning the Ganga, or will it just waste more taxpayers' hard-earned money? So, in a larger question, are we just adding more and more bureaucratic layers instead of targeting the problem? Because would just imposing penalties, etc., help in cleaning the river?
See, that was one of the thought process behind, this whole, this new, the government thinking that do we actually need a new law? Despite the fact that this very government has been they were the one who pushed for a legislation. But then at somewhere in the government, somebody, started this discussion that, would it actually help, or would it just add another layer of bureaucracy? Because in India, we don't have a dearth of laws.
Right.
In fact, it's the implementation, it's enforcement that is a bigger problem. So that's why there has been a thinking among the top policymakers in the government that why can't we strengthen the existing provisions instead of bringing in a new law?
Okay. This question is from Namra Patel. How can this be, there have been attempts in the past to clean Ganga. How can this project be successful? What is missing? So is it still the execution, implementation, or is it the lack of a proper framework?
Lot has happened since 2014, Ruhi, though even now the quality of water is not as it should be. But then the Union Ministry, the Jal Shakti Ministry has taken a number of steps, and one of the basic steps was setting up sewage treatment plant so that polluted industrial waste, polluted household waste doesn't flow directly into the river. So sewage treatment plant has been set up in all the 5 states. 5 states. Some of them are under works, will be completed, but many of them have been completed. So that has helped. Also, what the ministry has done is they have also put a cap on industrial, in industries that have come up on and the industrial effluent which flow into the river. For instance, in Kanpur, so sewage treatment plant has been set up, and then they have penalized industries who have been caught violating or who have been caught discharging industrial effluents directly into the river.
Right.
So a lot of measures have been taken, but having said that, lot still needs to be done. And it's not a 1 day or a 1 year or a 5 year process. It's an ongoing process, and the people also need to understand this. There needs to be an awareness that only the government with legislation, mere legislation and penalties can't clean up the river. It has to be a joint
societal
effort.
Change, right.
Yeah, it has to be a joint effort by both.
All right, Tanveer Panjwani, if rivers and cleaning them is a state subject, then why is the central government making a law for the same?
See, water is in the concurrent list where both, the center can frame legislation, and then it's up to the state. The state can adopt it, if they want. But the thing is that if there is a central law, the states are bound to kind of implement it. So.
All right. Anmol Bansal, as per data, what is the current state of the river Ganga in terms of its purity? So I don't know if we have data readily available, but is there any indication to show that Ganga may be cleaner now than it was, say, 5 years ago?
See, we did one story some 2 or 3 months back, where we quoted the study done by IIT Kanpur, and the study was conducted between April and May 2020. During the lockdown period, and the study showed that the river water in several places like Haridwar, Kanpur and Varanasi, which are some of the most polluted stretches on the Ganga, so there has been a marked improvement in the past few months in the quality of water. But that was also because there was a national lockdown, there was no industrial activity happening, tourism had come to a stop, hotels, restaurants was closed. So that could be one of the reasons that there was a marked improvement in the quality of water in these 8 places, Haridwar, Varanasi, which are mostly holy cities visited by pilgrims. So but the study also said that there are that the study needs to they need to study further whether the quality of water has remained same, or after the lockdown was lifted, what is the status of the river. Again, in 2019 there was a study by the UP Pollution Control Board which said that the water in the Ganga is not fit for even bathing. So
right,
lot still needs to be done.
So before we close, Maushmi, you've mentioned how now there is a rethink in the government about the draft bill, and there is thinking that you should strengthen the existing framework. Is there any movement on that front in terms of how, in a concrete manner, can the existing framework be strengthened?
Ruhi, like I told you earlier, this National Mission for Clean Ganga, once it was notified as an authority, it has been given lot of regulatory powers, and things are happening. So, the NMCG is in talk with state governments and district up to the district level, where they, where there are discussions on how, what is still lacking, what can be done, in which area, things need to be strengthened so that the pollution can be abated in the river.
Right. Okay. So Maushmi helping us understand the status of the Ganga cleaning project, the draft bill rather, that the Modi government had floated but now seems to be having a rethink on. As I mentioned, you can log on to our website, theprint.in, to read Maushmi's story for more details. Thank you for watching Government Matters, for sending in your questions. Do keep subscribing to our YouTube channel.